I got two questions about multiplayer options. The first one was, as soon as you started up the game, I saw like 4 Ratchets. I'm wondering, like, oh, they can have an army of Clanks going around destroying things. Or are they going to be like extra skins for different characters?
The thing is, actually, like, you all have that option, but the first person that locks Ratchet in will change everyone else to Clank. So as far as other skins and stuff, stay tuned. But right now, we're talking about the 4 characters: Ratchet, Clank, Qwark, and Nefarious.
The second one was like keeping players you don't want in your game out of your game. Like, I saw the online thing. I'm thinking there's going to be at least a few people that's going to do nothing but pick people up and throw them off ledges.
Sure. Yeah, and that's something that we looked at, and that's something that we were concerned with really early on, because that was kind of the process. We created this thing, and then you could pick people up and shoot them places, and then immediately we started shooting each other on ledges, and then we realized, wait, this could be a huge problem. And so, I mean, one of the things we're going to do is the person that's hosting the game will be able to configure kind of how the game works. And so you could put up a game where griefing is a lot easier. I mean, it's kind of a free-for-all, and for some folks that'll be really fun. But for other players, they'll have the ability to tweak some of those options. And I mean, and you'll be able to kick people out of your game, if they're being jerks, or block them from the game.
All right. Thanks.
Which means I'll never get to play.
That's right.
I also have 2 questions, but mostly because I don't think you'll answer the first one. I'd really like to know how the Rhino is going to work in this game.
Wow, you're right. That was awesome.
We'll get back to you on that one when we figure it out. Huh?
And the second one is, how easy is it going to be to switch in and out in the middle of a level?
Somewhere between extremely easy and very easy. Now, we want to let you like jump in and out whenever you want to. We think drop in and drop out is of critical importance. You shouldn't have to wait around, so it's going to be like virtually right away when you want to jump in.
It's also worth mentioning too that if you want to start up a game yourself, you can start it single player. That game will be online. You'll be playing with the bot. As soon as somebody jumps in that game, they can take over the bot, and things will just scale that way. We want it, like Chad said, we want to make it extremely easy to get in and out of the game.
Yep. Thanks.
This is regarding Ratchet and Clank. I was just wondering, where's Resistance 3, and if you can't answer that,
sure.
When can we expect news on that?
Did you see the teaser trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So the teaser trailer is pretty awesome. Did everyone see the teaser trailer? Yeah? Resistance 3 has been coming along really well, and we're going to be very excited to show it very soon. I don't think you're going to have to wait too long, but stay tuned to the Insomniac Twitter and Facebook, and the instant that we can say when you'll be able to see it next, you will have it on your Twitter page. So keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Question regarding the title of Ratchet and Clank. Given the history of going commando up your arsenal, why all for one instead of something more like foreplay?
Who wants to take this one, Sean?
Oh, that's good.
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it, TJ.
Yeah, we went through a whole bunch of titles. Foreplay was, of course, on the list.
Very high on the list, by the way.
I suggested Fiends with Benefits, Bros Before Foes, yes. And my personal favorite was Multiple Organisms.
Yeah. We'll go there.
Which the good news is actually an issue of the comic is named that because that was my favorite too. But at the end of the day, I think we didn't want to scare off the parents that might be buying the game for their kid. So, so we went with all for one.
Yes, but anyone who doesn't think that we didn't seriously consider foreplay, we very seriously consider foreplay.
We do. We take it very seriously here.
Yeah, it's true.
Or something.
Hi. Obviously, there's a lot of weapons in Ratchet and Clank, or a lot of enemy types and stuff. What are your inspirations behind some of those things?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, we have a group that is really into brainstorming as a team, and we can sit down when we're starting something new, just grab 10 or 15 people, get together in a room, and knock out 10 new ideas. And sometimes it can come from function, like something that we want to do in the game that we think would be really fun to play. Sometimes it's more thematically driven, like maybe it's a certain visual style that we want to hit. These ideas really come from all over. I mean, the main thing to say is that it's very collaborative. So these great ideas come from all over, and then everybody really gets behind executing them to make them fun to play after we get the kernel of an idea in play for the game.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
My question was regarding level design. Do you guys have any challenges with making levels for one person and 4 people? Just sort of the differences between someone who's playing with an AI versus 4 buddies playing together.
Yeah, we do, but I want to say it's one of those things that we knew we'd have to take on very early on. So I feel like we developed a really rich system for handling that really kind of early in production, and that's kind of helped us through. I mean, we scale for 1 to 4 players to make sure that the experiences are good for any player configuration.
And that's something that comes up all the time when designers are pitching ideas. I mean, one of the first questions, they probably want to punch me sometimes, but one of the questions we'll ask is, well, does it scale? What happens with 2 players? What happens with 3 players? What is it like solo? And then the other one we ask is like, is there something for everybody to do? And so that's the kind of challenge that we've embraced as a company doing this kind of project. Like, it's a lot. That's a great challenge for a lot of these things.
Cool. Thank you,
Captain.
Whoa. It's awesome.
What's up?
My question was with Nefarious being the villain of the previous game. How does it work with them working together now, or is that revealed within the story?
Well, the setup involves all 4 being forced basically to work together in order to survive and get through this alien planet, discover what the planet is all about, discover why all these monsters have been essentially kidnapped and brought and dumped there, including them, by the way. So it's almost at a necessity that Nefarious has to help them, but he's very grudging. We want to make sure that every step of the way he's not happy about helping them. They're not skipping through the planet holding hands. Like, he is very upset about his situation, and there may be 1 or 2 developments along the way that we don't want to give away that involve just what kind of character Nefarious is.
All right, and just to confirm something else, this is a direct sequel to the previous game, or is it more of a side story?
No, this is. I would consider this a direct sequel, canon-wise.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hi, my question is about Captain Qwark. Considering how popular he is, and Up Your Arsenal, he had his own mini game. Is there any chance you guys would do something like that, like the downloadable content game?
You never know.
Title?
You never know.
You never know. I would if there was one, I would love to write it.
It was fun playing side scroller.
Yeah, and we had My Blaster Runs Hot, which was it was awesome to actually see that happen, because that started out as just a commercial that I wrote that I thought would be funny, and people loved it and made this really cool minigame in a crack of time. So I mean, if it happens, I'd love to be on it.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I was wondering, after the PS2 era with like Up Your Arsenal, you guys really didn't do any multiplayer Ratchet and Clank. What was it like going back and doing one on the PS3 rather than not having any sort of multiplayer content on the previous 2 future games?
Well,
go ahead. Go.
I mean, a lot of the reason why we did that is like what we found is that people really dug Resistance multiplayer, and so we felt like we wanted to really focus our attention on that, developing that over time. So like when we were putting this game together, luckily we had a lot of stuff that we could pull from our shared technology coming in here. There are some things that we've had to change, but we've been able to use a lot of like existing stuff that we got from Resistance. And for what it's worth, a lot of the stuff that we use on Resistance came out of the PS2 Ratchets.
So unfortunately, we have time for one more question after this, but all of you folks in line, please come up first and grab swag. Plus, we are going to go outside, so you can come up and ask us more questions if you want after the panel, but we only have time in the panel for one more question. I apologize for that. But please, all you guys behind him, go up, grab some swag right now, and then we can talk to you outside more. Last question.
Hi, my question is about player skill. So with something co-op, especially something online co-op, how are you going to how are you going to accommodate for the variances in player skill?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I like to play with people who are don't play video games a lot, so I don't want to feel like I'm kind of just babysitting them, or they feel like I'm babysitting them. So how are you going to accommodate
Yeah,
that?
that's a great question, and it's very important to us to accommodate players with varying skill sets. You can play, as a parent with a younger person. You can play as, as 4 people of the same age. 2 people who are similar age. Like all that is supported by us with configuration up front. So if you let the game know what the play group is like, we kind of do some things to make it work for different players and different skill levels for sure.
And we've tested this stuff too.
We play test rigorously to make sure it's gonna work like
we've
that.
seen like exactly these groups, and we'll adjust accordingly.
Right.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
And everyone, a big hand for Adam Sessler for coming in. We appreciate him taking care of this for us.
All right, but thank you, guys. And yes, fall 2011, Ratchet and Clank All for One.
Fall 2011.
Thanks for coming, everyone. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.